I made Kaiju a crepe. I didn't mean to make her a crepe. I'd made too much of the, shoot, what's it called? Veggie burger, the repashy veggie burger omnivore gel. And I didn't have enough room in my ice molds, so I put it on a plate and I let it sit, and it turned into this kind of flexible disc. So I made her a crepe. That's cherry bomb that I just mixed with some extra water. That's the sauce. And then she's got watermelon and mango. We got the watermelon fresh at the farmer's market. And she's just, oh, she's having fun. I'm having fun. I realize it is very extra to make a lizard a crepe. And yet, here we are. She acts like she doesn't get fed. That's a lie. She gets fed. It's a good sign, though, when your Tegu has a voracious appetite. That's fresh mango, not frozen. This is a fun meal because there's a lot of different scents and textures and flavors. You know, we've got slippery mango, we've got the gel, we've got kind of crunchy, crispy watermelon. We've got that sauce. Yeah, she's getting lost in the sauce. Yeah, lots of smells and nice colors. I love watching her think about what she's gonna eat next, what bite she's gonna go for. I also think it's really neat watching them manipulate food as best as they can without having flexible lips, or really, they're not, you know, they can't use their hands. All they have is their jaws and that incredible tongue. I will say this is a lot of fruit for one feeding. If you look at their diet, these guys are omnivores, but kind of their biggest staple really needs to be leafy greens with a good calcium to phosphorus ratio. So turnip greens are a really good one, dandelion greens if you can get them, stuff like that. Fruit obviously has a lot of fructose in it, a lot of sugar, so a diet that's super heavy in fruit all the time is not the greatest. A diet that's super heavy in protein and fat, so like in all animal diet, not the greatest. You need to have diversity of food. You need to have those leafy greens. You need to get some really lean insect protein in there if you can. Not all tegus at this size will happily eat insects. She'll eat hornworms and nothing else. Well, no, I take that back. Sometimes she's tried to eat a moth a couple of times, but like she's really just not all that interested in bugs. She likes her fruit, she likes her animal protein, so I'll mix insect protein in with her other food. Repashy bug burger is really good for that. And foods like I'll give her crested gecko diet as a sauce or a supplement that's got black soldier fly larvae or calcium worms or phoenix worms or whatever people call them, because nobody actually wants to think about what black soldier fly larvae really are, because in America we have a word for the larva of flies, and that's maggots, and we get grossed out by maggots. Even though they're just bugs, insects, just kind of squishy. High in protein, high in lipids. If you're ever in an emergency situation where like you're stranded in the wilderness and you come across some maggots, you can eat them safely and they'll help sustain you. And you can feed them to your lizard. If your lizard's in this survival situation, obviously eating the lizard is off the table. We're not even going to discuss that. That does not get a response. But you guys could eat maggots for a while if you wanted to. You could find beetle larvae, but you have to be careful with those because some of them are toxic. Maggots are usually pretty safe. We used to think way back in the olden days, that maggots could be spontaneously generated by just leaving meat out, and so you'd get like recipes for mice and recipes for maggots. You can't actually spontaneously generate them. Like there have to be parent flies who come in and lay their eggs. You can't just magically generate mice. Kaiju would like that, if we could just magically generate mice. Actually, she really doesn't eat a lot of mice. Adult mice are pretty fatty. And if you look at like their wild diets, they don't actually eat terrifically many rodents. Lean protein, like she gets, day-old chicks. Poultry makes up, well, I mean, it's not poultry in the, well, I guess it is sometimes poultry in the wild, because these guys are a pain in the neck for chicken farmers in their native range. But, yeah. You have to just be kind of careful with what you feed them. She gets fish, whole fish whenever I can get them. We have a guy at Whole Foods who sometimes saves fish heads for us. I'll go in and I'll be like, hey, you got any fish heads? And he'll be like, yeah. He'll give me fish heads. Can you believe I've had this animal for almost 6 years now? Really, I got her, June 18th is her gotcha day. I don't know what her actual birthday is, because she grew up feral in the Everglades, so I really don't know. But we celebrate every June 18th. Fancy dinner, fancier than this crepe. I'm at home, my parents' house right now, because the quarantine. Well, we're not really quarantining, but I'm trying to isolate, and I've got a pretty garbage immune system, and it was, difficult enough convincing my mom that, hey Mom, can I have some of that leftover mango? Oh yeah, sure, sweetie, you want a snack? Yeah, the snack is for me, but I don't think my mom would be super jazzed about going out and getting Kaiju a lobster, which is one of the things that she sometimes gets because she likes to play with them. She doesn't get a whole lobster, she just gets some of the tail. Really, buying a quarter-pound lobster tail is not terrifically expensive. It would be like if you were trying to, have a dinner party, because, whatever, but you can give your lizard a lobster tail. And again, it's not ideal, it's not complete nutrition, but like variety is the spice of life, and she really gets a workout from chewing up a lobster tail, which is great because that jowly area, That's her pterygoids. They're big chewing muscles. It's one of the reasons tegus have those big old jowls. And the males, there's an element of sexual selection to it as well. The bigger the jowls, the handsomer the man, because those, you know, as your muscles get bigger, your, like, it's complicated, right? Because, like, there's no one element of sexual selection that means, yes, this is the one to pick. And there's a lot of reasons that a male's jowls might be large, like he might have a really fatty diet. He might be older, so like he'll lose muscle tone and then the jowls just sort of look like they melt a little bit. But generally speaking, in the wild, if you see a male with large jowls, he's probably well represented in the genetics of the area. So yeah, they develop a fat pad over that. And that's also something where you see a lot in captivity. You'll see males with just disgustingly huge jowls, and it's because they have just been fed too much and probably not kept hot enough. I would like it to be known that I have no idea like how to successfully make a crepe for a human. I've never really tried before. I'm really bad at making pancakes. They like to burn. Or like I'll get one side too done and then the other side won't be done enough. So I think I'd be just a spectacular failure at crepes. But judging from what's transpired here, it seems that I'm all right at making lizard crepes. I think that Kaiju will continue to keep me on as her private chef. I mean, it's not like she has much of a choice. Yeah, you don't really have a choice in the matter. You're stuck with me. Yeah, you're stuck. No one else would put up with you. No one else would be like, you know, oh, hey, I'm gonna cater to this animal's every whim. They'd take one look at you and be like, you are way too needy to be a feral animal. How did you get to be so reliant on people? I'm going to have to wash this rug. I'll just throw it in the washer before we go to bed. No, wait, because then it'll sit overnight. I'll throw it in the washer, but I won't run the cycle. It's machine washable. Again, I swear to God, I feed this animal. Like, she's not a starving orphan like she would lead you to believe. God, look at her. Oh, look at this dog. Look at that, Kaiju. You've eaten so much that your lateral line is flattening out. That's right. You devoured everything. Just little bits left. Just a little bit. She's been so full of beans tonight. I went to get her out of her cage and I hadn't even unzipped the door and she was just, her little head popped up and it was like, oh, hello, human. There you are. Where have you been? Kaiju, do you have anything you want to say to the people? Do you have anything you want to say? Let's out a little bit. What do you want to say to the people? Do you want to say hi to the people? You kind of miss the people, don't you? Being down here, not getting to go to the museum. I don't know. You're pretty happy. Okay, so this has been going on for 15.5 minutes now, and yeah, I ran out of stuff to say a while ago. Thanks for watching my Tegu vlog if you watched it all the way through, and yeah, here comes that girl. Here she comes. Whoa, here she comes. Watch out, crepes. She'll eat you up. Whoa, here she comes. She's a crepe eater.